All right, so most of you already met me. I'm Yelena, and the purpose of tonight's session is to introduce you to Apache Spark. So hopefully you can see my screen, right? I'm sharing slide now. So today, here is the agenda, what we're gonna do. There are going to be some key reminders. We're gonna talk about environmental usage. I'm gonna remind you how to ask for assistance effectively. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the element of the Python notebook and high-level steps what you need to do for this assignment. Okay. Now, most of you have been doing fantastic jobs with asking effective questions, but sometimes you're saying, "Okay, I cannot log in," right? But it's unclear at which step of the process you're getting an error. You see what I'm saying? So what you need to do is you need to say what you're trying to do, the steps, and you need to provide the screenshot of an error message. Otherwise, it's very difficult to tell what an issue is, right? I have to second guess, right? So without the screenshot and without the steps to reproduce an error, it's very hard to help you. I'm going to respond and I'm going to say, please provide the screenshot, but that means you add in the turnaround time, okay? Now, it's
Excuse
very
me,
important.
Yelena.
Yeah?
You're slightly muffled. Can you speak
Well,
more
yeah,
directly?
because I have a little bit of the sore throat, but I'm trying my best.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yes. So, okay, so basically here I was just reminding how to ask for help, right? So you need to submit the screenshot. You cannot just say, hey, I cannot log in or something like that. You need to provide the details. How do I reproduce the error and what the error is? When you submit the ticket, make sure to select the correct type, because if you don't, I'm not going to get the ticket. Another department gets it. And also, please do not call the help desk. Use the form in the classroom to submit the ticket. Okay. Now here I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but still, please do not deactivate your IBM Cloud account. That's it. You cannot undo this, and you're not gonna get another code until December. Please do not put credit card information and do not upgrade your account. This is important. When you create your files, right? There is something called object storage. This is location where the files from the project that you're going to create are stored. Do not delete the object storage because that's going to be hard to fix. Okay. Do not open a BM tickets, and please do not post any graded code. Right, in the classroom discussion, do not post graded code. It will more applied in assignment 2, where you have part 2, where you're going to have to write the code for the notebook. Okay, so please make sure that you do not post the graded code in the discussion, the code that you submit for grading. Okay, do not open notebook in multiple browsers because you're going to be charged multiple hours, right? It will think that you have two Spark sessions running, right? You will be consuming more capacity hours. Do not forget to stop the kernel, and we'll talk about it. And you want to make sure that environmental runtime is not running when you stop working. And please do not share your work with future students and with current students, because it's very easy to get this caught, okay? And do not use any illegal sites for the homework help. It will be caught, okay? Now, how many of you, hopefully you guys watched the video that was recorded for you. You get, it's not a limitation, it's a privilege. You get 10 capacity unit hours per calendar month. This is it. Once you run out of those 10 hours, you won't be able to do the assignment until next month. So just be careful. Some people did not do well in this course because they did not listen to instructions on how to use the environment correctly. So basically, when you start the notebook, when you open the notebook in the edit mode, the clock starts, okay? The hours consumption is going up. And once you reach 10 hours, this is it. You cannot do anything until the next month, okay? So the environment consumes about 1.5 capacity hours per clock hour, right? So 10 hours, it's not 10 clock hours. It's capacity hours. So that means that it's about 6.6 clock hours. You need to be aware that when notebook is running or when you open it, it doesn't have to be actually running. When you open it in the edit mode, that's it, the consumption starts, okay? So now make sure that you stop the runtime environment. Closing the browser by just clicking X is not gonna stop the runtime environment. It will be consumed, but that's what's gonna happen. Once you reach 10 capacity hours, the running environment, it's not gonna stop, but you won't be able to start another one. You won't be able to do anything else, okay? Because sometimes I see the students send a screenshot, shows that they consume 100 hours. Well, because that thing kept on running, nothing stopped it, okay? But you are over consuming, you cannot do anything until next month, okay? And closing the browser does not do anything, okay? So if you accidentally close the browser before stopping the environment, you need to go back to your account and check, make sure you have nothing running. Well, first of all, what I'm talking about, this is a must-know vocabulary. When I help you, I use this terminology. You must know what's an IBM Cloud is, what's Cloud Pak for data, what's a project asset, what's Cloud Object Storage, right? What's Python Notebook, what credentials are, what is Spark context, what is bucket name. You need to know all of these terminologies, right? So make sure that you do the readings, of course, watch the video before you do anything. You must watch that video because it shows you some tips on how to use hours effectively, okay? So high level steps are like this. Most of you, hopefully you have active IBM Cloud account, right? That you created at the end of the first week, you should have created a IBM Cloud account, right? You use the same credentials to access Cloud Pak. What is a Cloud Pak? It's an integrated software platform that we use to develop artificial intelligence models. Right? So it's artificial intelligence, Spark, etc. What you do is you start by creating an empty project, just project, nothing in it. You just put project name and project description. Then you add your data to the project, and then you're gonna add what the notebook. But before you do that, this is very important property. You have to select, there is something called storage delegation, and I'll show you. You need to make sure that that those two options for object storage are checked. So when I go back to my account, right, I'm gonna go to my account. So when I start, this is a home page, right? This is a Cloud Pak for data home page. You don't go to the IBM Cloud, you put the data platform. Oops. It's asking me the survey. Okay, so now, see this is a data platform. This is where you log in. This is not IBM Cloud, this is a data platform. See this? That's where you log in. At the top, it should say IBM Cloud Pak for data. This is gonna be your name, right? Well, here I have project because I already been doing some work, right? Doing some testing of the assignments and etc. So the region is Dallas, right? Initially when you log in, it's gonna ask you for the region. It's gonna ask you for the username, and the username is your email that you use to create a VM Cloud account. It's not a numeric ID, it's an email. Okay? Then you're gonna start the new project, right? But remember, there is more than one way to do it. But before you do that, see, everything that you save, right, the data it's stored in the object storage. And for each project that you create, the bucket inside the object storage is created, right? So, but first, what you need to do is you need to change the storage delegation. So I believe it's an administration. Let's see. Oh, so you need to make sure. Let me see. Never remember. Oh, it's in here. See this what? Well, before you are able add to any data, you need to follow the instructions, right? You need to make sure that your object storage the delegation is turned on, right? So And oops, I don't know, they keep on changing location. I'll find it. Sorry, guys. Okay, so see this, you have home, you have data, you have projects. Projects are gonna list what projects you have created, right? Like for example, I'm gonna click on view all projects, and this is gonna show me the projects that I have, right? One way to start a new project, you're gonna click on new project here. You can click new project here, or you can just start it from the home page, right? So the catalogs, don't worry about this. So here are different services, don't worry about this. Administration, very important here. This is very important thing that you need to know. Environmental runtimes, extremely important tab because it shows you what you have currently running. What happened here was my hours were set for the next month, for February, because it goes. It's not in my time zones that I'm in. It's in a different. It's based on a different time zone. But right now, my hours for the next month have been credited. If I run it out, if I run out of it, I'm gonna be out for the whole month. Okay. So just remember, if anything is running, it's gonna show in the bottom section. Don't worry about the top. You don't have the 20 hours. You're not using Watson machine learning. You're using active environmental runtime. If you see something in this bottom section, you need to stop it before you log out. You cannot just do it. Oh, you can barely hear me? Is it just you or everybody else? Tim, can you hear me? Class? Professor, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Yana.
I'm trying my best. I'm just
You're good.
sleep. Oh, maybe it's a volume. Try your volume in the speakers. Okay, so here you see the active environment. At the moment, nothing because I'm not doing anything, right? So, see, it's in the, oh, here it is. They changed a little bit. It's in the configuration and settings. Very important. This is a recent change. This big change. To change the storage delegation, important. You're gonna click here, configuration and settings. This is only once, configuration and settings. Click on storage delegation. Here it is. See this? And you make sure this is checked. There is a little change of location of this option, okay? But remember this. This system is under update all the time. So sometimes the screenshot might not match exactly what it is at the moment. The updates are ongoing. So it's still in the configuration and settings, but you have to click here, storage delegation, right? You click on storage delegation, and this is only one time. You need to have it checked, project and catalog, because you're allowing the object storage space to be used for your project. That's what I was talking about, right? So that place, you need to remember it once, okay? Then in the administration, you need to remember environmental runtimes. This is very important because before you exit, you want to make sure you have nothing here. If you have something here, there is an option to stop the environment. You have to stop the environment, okay? So now what you do, well, I can do it all over, or I assume most of you already watched the video, right? Okay, so I can do it all over if you want to. So I'm gonna go to the view all projects, right? I can do it this way. I can click on new project here, why not, right? I click on new project. I'm going to select an empty project, right? I'm gonna say something like Spark demo, right? Spark demo, and I'm gonna put today's semester, spring 2023. Okay. Now description is optional. This is by default, it's gonna use the object storage that I already have. So you don't need to do anything. Before you have to edit, but now it's already there for you. So description, you can put it, you can not. Okay. I'm gonna click on create. What's gonna happen? I'm creating a new project. What is this? It's just a way to group the data and notebooks, everything related together for the same task, right? Suppose that I had multiple assignments and multiple notebooks involved for each assignment. I would just create a separate folder for each assignment. Now here, see this, it says I don't have anything in there. I have not used, so now important. This is a resource usage within this project. This is not your total monthly usage. Some of you may think, I can create a new project and my hours will be reset. No, that's not how it works. The limit is, well, it's 10 hours total. It does not matter the project where you use it on, okay? Now, assets. This is gonna show what data I have and what notebooks I have. I have nothing right now, right? So how do you do this? First of all, see this thing here? It's data. You can drag and drop data file, or you can just, if you know where you save the file, right? I know where I saved the file. I'm just gonna select this, right? And it's gonna upload the CSV file. Very important, when you download the file from the classroom, just save it. Please do not open the file because the formatting can be corrupted, okay? Do not open before you upload it, let's say. So first, important, the data must be uploaded before you upload the notebook, right? How do we upload the notebook? See this? New asset. I'm gonna click on new asset. Now, important, it's not a notebook, it's called code editor. And you want to select this one, Jupyter Notebook Editor. Easy, right? So far, so good. Now, very important, you have several options here. You can start a blank notebook from scratch. You can import the file that you have, or sometimes you can import the notebook from URL. One more thing, there is a site with sample notebooks, so you can upload those too, so just know it, right? You can reuse the samples, you can upload from URL, from file, or blank. I'm gonna do from file because I have my file, right? So I'm just gonna go here, drag and drop, select the file. Am I ready? What am I gonna do next? Am I ready to work on assignment? No. Well, first of all, this is a notebook name. We're good here, right? It's inherited from the file name. You can change it if you want, but I'm not ready. Because what did Yelena say we're gonna do? What environment did the instructions say we're gonna use? Right, so this is about uploading data, but very important, you have to select the correct environment, right? So you have to choose correct one. So let's see here. You are using Spark 3.3. Well, in the video that you watched, the recording at that time, there was Spark 3.2. But you're doing, the steps are the same. The only difference is that you're using 3.3. Now I have to warn you a little bit here. This is the latest version as of right now. Right now, this version is the latest, but never know. At any time, new version could be added. There could be there could be different Python version added. There could be new Spark version added. Usually, there's a little bit of transition time, but once the new version appears, be prepared for this version added. Okay. But it applies to you if you're the one submitting the work late, or if you have an incomplete or something like that. It's quite possible that at that time, the older version of Python or this version of Python will be deprecated, and you will have to figure out the code for the new version. It's quite possible that sometimes the code may need to be slightly edited with a new Python or new Spark version. So please, very important, you want to submit this assignment on time, because if not, you know what's gonna happen at any time. New version appears and that's it. You see what I'm saying? And who's gonna be responsible, you know? So right now, today, there is a Spark 3.3, Python 3.9. But do you see that? Usually there is a little bit of transition time, but if Spark 3.2 is no longer there, it's a hint that the next one is going to show up soon. See? Once it does show up, see, then this is going to be due for deprecation, but it's not going to tell when. For some time, it still be there, but we don't know for how long. There's no timing. Now, important, you're going to check this correct version, right? So check it 5 times before you click on anything. Make sure that it consumes 1.5 capacity units per hour. Are you ready? Only when you're ready. Then I would recommend to put your phones away. Make sure nobody distracts you. Because while you're talking on the phone and the notebook is open in the edit mode, you're consuming the hours. So please make sure you're in a location where nobody can interrupt you. Okay? Just try to find the time. All right, so from file, I'm ready. I'm gonna click create. What's gonna happen on my screen right now? When I click create, as soon as I click create, is this wheel spinning? What's gonna happen right now? It starts in what? Environment. And as soon as this starts, the clock starts. See, the clock is gonna start for the next month. You saw it, I still have 10 hours because they just credited the account for February, right? If I make a mistake, I will be out of hours until March 1st, and I'm gonna get an F on the assignment, on my assignment. Okay, so see here, it's saying it starts in the environment, right? So it's environment, it's a storage and it's a kernel. It's more than just a kernel. Okay, so this is a notebook, right? It consists of a bunch of cells. This is called the markdown cell, which is basically describes what your code does, if you will. And you've got nice table of contents. So when you click, it's gonna take you to another section, right? So that's what it is, set of links here, just different levels of headings, etc. But your task, what you're gonna do is this, you're gonna scroll down. Oops. I thought I cleared the data. But what you're gonna do is, if the data was not clear, do this kernel, restart and clear output, okay? Clear all output. I thought it was done. Okay, I cleared all output. Now, what you're gonna do is this. You're gonna, it takes a little bit of time. Hopefully the one that is uploaded in the classroom is cleared. Okay, now, okay, so here it is. What you will do is you're gonna go here where it says load data. Do you see this? Now you're gonna open this up and you're gonna do here, click on insert to code. You're gonna select Spark session data frame. Now, very important, if you don't see this option, you might not be using the Spark. You might be using just a Python without Spark. It's a wrong environment. Next thing, if you look at the code, it's referring to this as one. So you have two options. You can edit it to one in the code, or you can edit everything else to two, right? It's easier to edit it here. Next thing that you're gonna do is, it's very important in here. So, well, there are a couple places. You want to set an option called enforce schema, and you want to set it to true. And I'll explain to you what it does. So in here, you're gonna do this, Control C. I go Control V, right? Copy paste, and then in here, instead of header, I'm gonna put this enforce schema, right? And I'll show you, because see, the problem is you want to make sure that the numeric data types are read as numbers, okay? So in this one, enforce schema. So first option here means that my first row in the file is what? Column headings, right? This one is gonna tell that I want to read the data types from the file. If it's a number, I don't want the number to be read as a string. I want it to be read as a number. Because when I'm looking at the average age, perhaps, right? I'm not interested to see the average ASCII value of an age. I want to look at the actual number, right? And this is what it's a bucket name. Bucket, it's like a, let's say it's like a subsection, right? Of the object storage that is allocated for this project. You're just gonna go this, you're gonna copy this, right? And you're gonna go here. Do you see where it says bucket? You're gonna replace this word bucket with this, okay? You're gonna replace bucket with this, okay? Now, very important, now you need to run it, okay? Now you're ready to run it. What you're gonna do it? First, you're gonna run everything. You're gonna run the whole notebook. So, I would say, oops, here, run all. You see this? You're gonna run all and do nothing. Just run all cells. You start from the top and you run all. Just run, let it run, okay? It will run the entire notebook. Okay, it should. Now it's gonna run. You want to run the whole notebook. Don't worry about exercises, about anything else yet. Now take a look at the cell. If you see this little asterisk, it means that the cell is to be still executed. It still has not finished executing, right? So this is the output time, right? See this? There is a time, so you're not gonna submit anybody else's work. Huh? See this? This is a time, but it's a different time zone. Well, it does not matter. But it's not gonna say 2022, you know what I'm saying? So here, this is just the code. I did not do the exercises in here, but I'm just showing you that the code here that is given to you runs. Very important, when you submit, you must run the code starting from the top. You must run the entire code. So to get full credit for the assignment, you not only have to do the exercises, you need to execute the entire code in the notebook and with correct output, right? So what do I mean by correct output? It means that if when you're looking at the summary statistics, you cannot have average above the maximum, right? Things like that. There should be correct output. That's a thing, okay? Now it finished running. Now I'm gonna wait for it to finish running. Then what you will do is you're gonna do this notepad, right? You're gonna take a notepad and you're gonna put something like exercise 1, exercise 2, right? You're gonna type your code in the notepad, and then when you're ready, you're gonna copy paste. I'll show you. So here, so that finished running, right? That's it. I don't need to run my kernel anymore. This is what I'm doing here. I'm gonna click. This is saved. I'm gonna go file, stop kernel. That's it, and shut down. I don't want to keep this running, but I also have to stop the environment. Sometimes it may stop, sometimes it may not. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back to this project. I'm gonna go back to this project and I'm gonna go to manage, right? I can do this, I can go manage and I can go to my environments, right? I don't have anything running right now. See, it stopped. But just to be safe, look at the resource usage. It says what I consumed so far, not much. Now, another thing is this, just to be safe, just in case, what you want to do is you want to go here, environmental runtimes. I want to be safe to make sure I don't have anything running. Okay, nothing running, I'm good, right? Now, in order to do the exercises, I need to look at the code. How can I look at the code without actually getting the notebook to consume the hours? Easy. Okay, so you go to the project, all right? Return to a project. View all projects. This is a project that I just created. I'm gonna go in my project now and take a look. There is an option in here to view. See this? Do not click on this, but select view instead. This will open in a view mode without consuming any hours. And on the video, I'm actually showing you that nothing is consumed. Now you're gonna scroll down to the point where it says exercise 1, right? Or you can do just browser search. Exercise. This is a graded exercise 1. So what you do is you're gonna type the code in the notepad, okay? Type the code in the notepad. Prepare everything. Then when you're ready, you're gonna put notebook in edit mode and enter your code. Then you're gonna rerun the notebook from the beginning. You're gonna go in here and you're gonna clear all out and restart the kernel like I did a few minutes ago, right? And you're gonna rerun the whole thing with exercise code edit. Very important. There are two types of exercises, graded and ungraded. Okay? Graded exercise must be correct to get the full credit for it. Ungraded exercise must be attempted, but it's not optional. You have to do it. Why? Because something is ungraded today, tomorrow on another assignment, you're gonna see a graded exercise, but on different data. Okay? You will see the graded exercise with a different data. Like for example, in here, you have an ungraded exercise to list the department name, somebody's salary level, and number of employees, right? So this is what query with a group by two columns, right? So right now you're doing it as an ungraded exercise. You're doing a query that returns the department name, salary level, and then you're gonna list the number of employees who work for the department in column 1 and have salary in column 2, right? So this is basically the group by, right? So here you're grouping by 2 columns. This is ungraded, but this is not the last assignment where you're using SQL, right? You have a big assignment coming up with SQL. So somewhere on a different data, you're gonna see a query that groups data by 2 columns. Very simple as that. So this is your chance to practice, right? You're gonna compare your answer. You can ask for help, right? You can ask Siri for help, for help. But you need to make sure that you understand how to do it and the answers will be provided. Okay? One thing to keep in mind here, I need to give you a little hint here. Okay, you have the column here. If an employee stayed, it's set to 0. If an employee left, it's 1, right? It's set to attrition is 1. So in order to find out how many people left, I can take the sum of this column. I can just give you the hint. When you take a sum of this column, it's gonna give you how many people left, okay? Now, if you know the total number of people, if you know how many people left, you know how many people stayed, okay? It just hint, it's a little hint for the last query. I realize it's a little bit complex, but you're gonna see something of this nature later on, okay? So ungraded exercises are required because you're gonna see something similar. You need to do it. You're not gonna be, get not full credit for not getting them right, but you have to attempt, okay? Remember that part. Now, in-force schema is very important. Otherwise, when you're analyzing some of the data, you don't want to be analyzing ASCII value of the values, right? You're not looking at the ASCII values of a day. You're looking at people age, right? When you compute the average age, it's just an example. Okay. So just remember that you have to set in-force schema. Okay. Now, this shows you how to restart the kernel and clear the output. Always before you run, you want to clear if there is an output in there. Okay. So after you fix this, after you fix the exercise, the exercise code, you're gonna do this and run it again. Okay. Now, this shows you how to check the balance, how many hours you have used, right? I've used 0.1, right? Okay. If you're doing this assignment correctly, you should not be spending more than 1 hour. If you're doing it as instructed, you should not be spending more than 1 hour because the 10 hours that you have, it should cost you this assignment and assignment 2. Okay. Assignment 2, the first part will be just running what you got. And the second part will be you writing the code. Okay. So this just shows you how to check what environment you're running, right? So when your notebook is in edit mode, you would click on the eye and it's going to give you the information about the environment. Well, scissors, it's going to show you, like here, it's just going to show you who is running it and what environment is selected, right? Sometimes if you selected the wrong environment, well, too bad. What you could do is, one way to do it is this, you're going to go back to your project and you're going to delete the notebook, right? See this option? There is an option to delete. Well, right now I cannot delete it. Do you know why? Because I had it locked. I have to unlock it first. Unlocked, right? There is an option to delete notebooks. You will have to delete the notebook first. right? If you use the wrong environment, you select the notebook. After that, you have to go back to the, you have to go to manage. You have to make sure that person is running, okay? You have to do that. Then you're gonna re-add the notebook again, okay? So make sure, because deleting the notebook does not stop the environment, okay? If you made a mistake, if you selected the wrong environment at the time when you added the notebook, it's a big deal, but not a big deal. Well, if you know what you're doing, it's not a big deal because you can go back to assets, right? You can delete the notebook and you have to go back to your environment and make sure nothing is running, right? If something is running, you can stop it from here or you can stop it from the environment, global environment page, okay? Now, important thing is, this is just sample notebooks, but now I need to see what, oh, it's something very important. I need to tell you this. You have a quiz, right? Some questions on a quiz call to select more than one answer. If it says, if the questions require selecting two answers, then explicitly tell you to select two answers. If it does not say how many answers to select, then it's just one answer, okay? If it says, if it says to select two answers and you select one, then it means that either somebody not reading instructions or somebody does not know how to count until two or both, okay? So it just made it easier. There is no such a thing, choose all that apply. It tells you how many to select. Select two or select three, okay? So that's how multi-select is set up in the whole course. It applies to the quizzes and this quiz also. If the question has two answers, it will tell you to select two answers. Okay, so some people miss out on that because, and another thing is that if it does not tell to select two, you need to select one. Okay, just think about it. Another thing is that this quiz is not auto-graded because there are some questions that require writing few sentences. Auto-graded works well only if you have a multi-select, multiple choice, and true and false. It does not work well when you have to write few sentences. And you also need to include the screenshot. Like when you're done with this, when you're done with the assignment, you need to go here and you need to take the screenshot. See this? Go to environmental runtime and you want to screenshot how many hours you have left, okay? Because if you run out of hours, you're gonna have a serious conversation with instructor because there's no way to get another code. That's it. Nothing I can do. You may get only one code, right? And it's valid through the end of the year. Okay? So this is important. Now I want to see what questions do you guys have. Any questions for professor or for me?
Yeah, I got a question.
Yes.
The IBM Cloud Pack we get from catalog, and then we choose. It says, I'm trying to get to IBM Cloud Pack for data, right?
Okay.
And it says the region is Dallas. And over here, I hit agree and do a login with your IBM ID. Is that?
Which IBM ID you using? You need to use your email. Emails that you use to create IBM Cloud account. It's IBM ID.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What'd you say?
You need to use an email. Okay, let me do this. Let me log into IBM Cloud.
Yeah, because I'm in the cloud. I selected the.
Okay, I'm gonna go to IBM Cloud, right?
Right.
Oops, I forgot this URL. Ooh, now I forget the URL. Hold on. Console. Okay, now it's gonna take me right. So I'm gonna log in, right?
Yeah.
Oops. Sorry about that. I don't remember passwords. Okay, now continue. Okay, I'm gonna log in here. Okay, well, this is a IBM Cloud, right?
Yeah, I'm in that.
Yes. But what do the instructions tell you to do? Where do the instructions tell you to go?
Well, that's what, if it's written down, I'll find it, but I didn't see it in there. I've been reading, I read a lot of stuff.
Oh, really? Okay, okay, okay. content. I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna preview as you. Okay, now I go to content. See this? I'm viewing it as you, as a learner role. Okay, go content. Okay, and I go to assignment, right? So this is the for, right? I go to the assignment. Okay, now you must watch this first. Here, this is a tutorial, right? You click on that, and you need to download the file. Well, for me, my browser just downloads it for me, but you need to download it. Okay. Well, where does it say to go? Let's see. You need to read through the whole thing. Unfortunately, there are no. Oh. Okay, this is what happened. My PC shut down earlier, and it's trying to restore everything that was open. Bear with me. Oops, no, that's not it. Sorry, guys. Because it's gonna try to restore everything that I had open. Oh, see, here it is. This is Apache Spark tutorial. Okay? Okay? Yes, excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you. But
Yeah.
I wanted to show that it does say in here. So you scroll, you read this overview. Now, scroll down. What does it say? Here it tells you 2 files. You need to submit 2 files. How many files are you going to submit? If you're going to submit one, right? See here, log into IBM Watson Studio. Navigate to this webpage. See this? Data platform. Do you see this? You copy this site and paste it into URL bar. That's it. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate it. It's in this page. It tells you to use the credentials that you use from IBM Cloud, but it tells you to go where? To the data platform, right? This is what it tells you to do. If you go into IBM Cloud and you're not following instructions, sorry, then you're gonna select your region and you're gonna log in.
All right, all right, I got you. Thank you.
No problem, no problem. I'm just telling you that if you don't see what you're supposed to see, then you need to step back in the instructions. But it does say in there, so I'm so glad somebody supported me on that. For some reason, okay, never mind. It's good. Now, so that's clear, right? But it was brought to my attention that some of you still don't have IBM Cloud account. Is it correct? Well, you don't have to answer it right now, but if you don't, well, first of all, think about it this way. Have you obtained the feature code? Now, make sure that also you don't have anything here in red, because sometimes your browser or your router may think that the site is unsafe. Do not have the site safety checker turned on, because that will stop you. It could stop you from getting the feature code. Okay? So make sure you get your feature code, then you follow the instructions to create the IBM Cloud account. This is not my IBM page. This is not my IBM, very important, right? You need to follow the IBM Cloud account instructions and use your URL in the instructions. Because I don't know, I'm not gonna say the name, but in one of the tickets I looked at, the screenshot, and I see the page that was not called for in instructions. The instructions says to do what? Go to IBM Cloud page. If you go into a different page, of course you're not gonna get the result. Okay? So you need to make sure that you read instructions. In fact, this is what's gonna help you. This might help. Do you see this? Each Word document has table of contents. Look through the table of contents because it gives you the high-level steps of the assignment. Do you see this? What? Well, okay, let me tell you this. Okay, I'm gonna address this in a second, Christine. Okay, so table of contents is gonna give you the details, okay? It's gonna give you the details here. Now, the interface changes as we talk. It changes as we speak. So sometimes we need to figure figures out on the fly. The steps are the same, okay? The steps are the same. You need to set the cloud storage delegation, right? But the location of the option changed. Things change overnight. You see what I'm saying? So we can't really test it all the time. See, this is almost the same. See, the difference is administrator storage delegation, right? But I figured out because it must be the same. See, this when I looked at it, I did not see it. Too. I did not see it. Remember, I was showing you, where is that? Then I started looking around. It's in the configuration section. They put it here. They moved it. I swear, when I tested this assignment this weekend, it was exactly what on the screenshot. Okay. But the problem is, it has been how many days since the weekend? Today it's Tuesday. It has been 3 days. So the more time elapses, the more differences you will see between the screenshots and this, because it's not gonna match interface. They keep on updating it. They keep on adding things, but just get the big picture. So the table of contents here is gonna help you because it will tell you what are the high level steps, okay? And it was written with Word. So every time, right, when anything changes, it was done this. Selected everything, Control A, right click, and then do update all of these references, right? Well, right now it's not edit. I put the file in the edit mode. But this, if you look at the table of contents, tells you the steps that you need to do. See this? So you have assignment overview, how to get started, deliverable, reminders, how to log into Watson Studio, how to create first project, storage delegation, how to add data, add notebook. So see, if you look at the table of contents, it gives you the high-level steps. It should be really helpful here. And then you just dive section by section, okay? But be prepared, the interface may not exactly match, okay? And I was it just caught me too. Remember what I did? I poked around a little bit. I was like, oh, maybe the configurations. See this? It was moved, but well, if something changed, I'm gonna try to help you find it, okay? But expect this all the time. The banner may change, the button shapes can change, things like that. But for the most part, and that's another thing to be aware of if you also doing if you're submitting the work late, the longer you wait, the more differences you're gonna see. Unfortunately, that's what it is, okay? If you already started working on this tutorial, you're smart. Why? Because you took advantage of January hours, which is good because if you had hours that you did not use in January, you cannot carry over them to February. So if you started working on assignment, right, you watched the video and actually started, you're smart. Because you're gonna save your February hours for assignment too. That's smart, okay? Now, any other questions? I addressed the difference, right, in the steps. It's the same step, but a little bit different location, right? So what is storage delegation? It's one of the settings, I guess. So I was just puzzled like you know. So yeah. Figure 11 shows. Okay, IBM Watson Studio and Cloud Pack these terms are used interchangeably. If you go back to this vocabulary, okay, if you go back to this here, there is a must know vocabulary slide. Let me find it. See this? IBM Cloud Pack for data. In some regions, it's called Watson Studio. See this? So that's a vocabulary. It goes back to must know vocabulary. IBM Cloud Pack for data. It was also called Watson Studio before. So in some documentations, you still see it as Watson Studio. So nothing wrong with that. Well, if you are not sure, always ask, okay? So these two terms used interchangeably, like it says in here, Watson Studio. So you may still see these terminologies in documentation, okay? So that's why the screenshot was not changed because it's still valid. Okay, I hope I answered that question. Let me know if not. So basically, yeah, so sometimes the screenshots are not gonna match exactly. You're gonna see something similar, but things move, things change, every day they're doing something new. Okay, so I'm trying to help as much as possible, but I will take a look. If you see something disappeared, I'll go to my account. When you submit the ticket, I'll check to make sure it's still there and where it is. Okay. Okay. Do you have more questions? Well, but the steps, the high-level steps are the same. That's what's important. That's why I recommend starting from the table of contents, because it gives you the big picture of what we're doing, right? So you look at this, it gives you the high-level steps, so you're understanding that, right? And then you dive into each steps into details. Like you see high-level steps running a notebook. What does it take to run a notebook? And see, here's the sub steps, and then you look into each section for details. I think, well, honestly, I think this will help, okay? This table of contents, that's where to start from, I would think, okay? And of course, if there are major changes, you need to keep an eye on announcements. Does everybody here know how to set up alerts in D2L? You probably know it, right? So there is a option to receive an email. There is an option to receive an email when like you see, you click on yourself, you see that there's an option notifications, and you may choose to receive an email when announcement is posted in the cluster. See this? When announcement edit, right? New announcement update, new announcement available, and you can do when your grade was uploaded, right? Graded items released, right? So that's when the grade posted, when the grade is updated, well, etc. Right? And when you have, well, I think usually you get notified when assignment is due in 2 days, right? I think you get it by default. Okay? So just make sure, and you can select SMS or the email, whatever is convenient for you. All right, so make sure, because some of you might check your phone or your other email more often than possible. So you're going to receive an email when new announcement is available. You want to make sure you don't miss it, okay? I just showed you that, okay? Then another thing is this. If you knew, well, this is not, since we have a little bit of time left, I'm showing you, this is not in D2L training. But if you look at this, if you look at the page, right, like in some of this, you have pages, right? Like for example, see here, this is a page, right? Hadoop and MapReduce keep fact list. Do you see this thing here? You may add a bookmark. See this? If there is a page that you think is important, you can bookmark it. And when you bookmark it, it's gonna show in the bookmarks. So see that? That's easier. Sometimes you can use that to find stuff. You're gonna go to content. There is a place in here where you have your bookmarks. See this? This in here, this is your bookmark. Another thing what you could do is you can sort. If you don't remember where something was posted, right? But for example, I know that I'm looking for something, I'm looking for the regions on MapReduce, right? I can type my search here, and it's gonna give me all locations in the content that are available where MapReduce is mentioned. So this is not in the DGL training, but that's why I'm showing you. That will help you too. You can use bookmarks or you can run a search in here. I don't know if you've seen that before, but sometimes you don't remember where something was posted in the content. You can do the search and you find it. Okay? Just telling you. It's gonna show you all locations, right? And you clear search and you can search for something else. But this one is bookmarks. You bookmark what you need to and it will be here. Okay? Well, I'm just showing you things that are not in actual D2L training, but just familiar with. Okay? Any other questions? Any other questions? Please don't feel shy. Instructor, Professor Ozan, do you want to add something to what I said?
Hey, Elena, no, I don't want to add anything, so thank you very much.
Anything else that we should cover? No? Well, then I'll see you in a couple weeks. We're gonna have another session for the Spark, okay? So do you guys find it helpful? Let me know. Okay?
Thank you, Elena.
Okay, most welcome. Okay, so that, then I'm gonna stop the recording, and recording will be available, okay?
Thank you.
So, yeah, stop. What's it? Oh, most welcome, guys. Thank you for attending. Thank you. Okay. So I'm just gonna stop the recording. Okay.